That was associates. Okay. So it means that the interest was between 20 but less than 50. Okay. But if your interest is between 50 to 100, it was subsidiary. So talking about the standard cover and the subsidiary, it was MFRS 9, business combination, 10, 1 to 7. Okay. So business combination talk about subsidiary. Okay. Business combination talk about subsidiary. So you need to have control. Okay, go back. When the investor having a control over the investee. And then what kind of significance influence that we want to know? What kind of criteria of significance influence? You can carry it further in the page 504. What kind of criteria of significance influence? How do you like to exercise? I mean, how do you like to implement the significance influence? You have 4 and you have 5, sorry. You have 5 ways to exercise the significance influence. Haris Aizat, can you please read how to exercise the significance influence in the page 504? Haris Aizat, are you there?
Dia tengah set up mic dengan kamera, Miss.
Huh? Set
Dekat
up the
dalam,
camera.
dekat dalam chat dia cakap set up mic dengan kamera.
So what you are doing before that? Azim Aiman, how to exercise the significance influence? A until E?
Okay, A is
Ah,
the presentation on the board of directors.
okay.
Second is participation in policy making process.
Mm-hmm.
Next is material intercompany transaction.
Mm.
Next is interchange of managerial personnel. And lastly, dependence on the technical information.
Okay, thank you. So sometimes the question do not tell about significance influence, but he give you a clue how the investee exercise the significance influence in the investee. So one of the way is he tell you, okay, Petronas represent one of their director in the BOD of investee. Okay, he put a director represent in the BOD. And then B is means that maybe he said that, okay, Petronas involved in the policy making. Okay, participate, but he did not control. Not control and participate. That was one of the way to exercise the significance influence. And next one is even though it was associate, the company between the of these two company still can have intercompany transaction. So when we have intercompany transaction, you have to recall back what you are supposed to have to do when you have intercompany. Should you remain or eliminate? This one you have to take notes. Is that similar with the subsidiary approach or we have a changes? And then D, interchange manager personnel means that you change the expertise. Maybe you send the technical person in IT into the company, in managerial personnel. Okay, so, I mean change the staff. Okay, expertise. And then E, sharing the other informations. Okay, that is the way how to exercise significance influence. And then I'm going to do a quick touch on the joint. Okay, if you go to the page 505, Okay, joint arrangements. Okay, joint arrangements is you can highlight the first sentence in the top paragraph, right? So joint arrangement is about you you have arrangement between two or more party, which is you have joint control. Okay, so in other words, it's about economic arrangement between two or more, okay, parties, okay, that have joint control. So that's why he said you are work together is for business purpose. Okay, business purpose for a short period or maybe for a long period, but for a certain project. Okay, maybe for your purpose work together is to build up the highway. So once you do apply the highway from this location A to B takes about 5 years to do. So after 5 years, no more joint arrangements. Okay, no more joint arrangements. And then the keywords for this one is for joint control, okay, which is you work together to have a joint control. So the keyword for this one is you can go to the 14.3 and 1. Party agrees to share the control. That's why I said, I mean, in this joint control, is not about A acquire B or A acquire C. No, it's about three of company A, B, C work together. So in that keywords, okay, for this joint arrangement, sometimes we call JA or sometimes we call JES, okay. The keyword for this one is you have to highlight unanimous. If you found in your textbook, unanimous consent. Unanimous consent means that everyone was agree for the same objective, to having a sharing control. Okay, unanimous. So everyone are work together to perform the activities. Okay. And then please highlight second paragraph when you want to explain about joint control. It means that no party having a high power, no party can control in these joint arrangements. Okay. So now we go to the method. So if you are subsidiary, what kind of method we apply? But before I go to method, since all the party work together, and then if you go to the second paragraph, no single party having a control, no single parties having a control. So it means that how many percent? We don't have percentage. You don't have any percentage. So please highlight in your notes, no specific percentage. So when the keyword say unanimous consent, it means that no specific COI or interest. Okay, it can be 50, 20, 20, 50, 20, 30. It can be that way, but no specific, no minimum. Okay, you don't have range of percentage, no range of percentage of interest. Okay, no range of interest. Okay, so be careful, be careful. So in other words, joint control can be can have any kind of percentage. Okay. Now we go to the method. So if you are subsidiary, what is the method? Aizat, you can recall if you are subsidiary, what kind of method you apply? If you are subsidiary, Aizat Ashraf,
Saya.
what kind of method?
Ingat.
What about Haris Aizat?
Acquisition method ke madam?
Yep, thank you. So acquisition method. Okay, if you are subsidiary. But what about associate? Go to the page 509. What is the method?
Equity.
Equity method. Equity method. So this equity method is for both associate and JV. For associates and JV. Okay. So associate and also JV. Okay. Then joint control, joint arrangement. I just simply said JV. Okay. So this is equity method. So you can highlight the format at the bottom. The bottom at the page of 509. Okay. Investment at cost. So you got two format actually. Two format. So format number one. Okay. Format number one, I will show you later when we do exercise. And then format number two, you have to refer into the textbook. Page 509. So what is the difference between these two formats? For number one, you're going to use when you have complete or full SS. Okay. And then for the page 509, when you have incompleted financial statement. Okay. So usually the format in the page 509 at the bottom, this one, I'm going to use when we have complex situations. Okay. So now we know already method for subsidiary is acquisition method. So what you are going to do when you apply acquisition method is means that you need to do full console, right? What does it mean by full console? Anyone can recall? Full console, completed console between holding and subsidiary. Full console, holding and subsidiary. So what does it mean? This one, you're going to plus all. You're going to plus all the elements of financial statement. Plus all the elements of financial statement, which is you're going to plus the asset, right? Liability, equity, income, and also expenses. But what about equity method? What does it mean? So equity method means that you're going to do as single line. Okay. So in other words, for the financial statement, you're going to plus all. Okay. But for the equity method, you did not plus all. You're going to put single line only. Single line for what? Single line in the console, Sophie? And also single line in the console SOPL. So what does it mean? In the console Sophie, you're going to put as investment in associate. Okay. In the console Sophie, you're going to recognize about in the console Sophie, the item represent associate as a single line. We name as investment in associate. So where do you put this one? Investment, the word investment. In the Sophie investment, where is it? Is it item liability or item asset? What do you think? Investment. Asset, right? So in the asset, which one? Asset, we have non-current and also current.
Non-current.
It was under non-current asset. Okay, it was under non-current asset. Okay, if you want to talk about subsidiary, item represents subsidiary. One of that is goodwill, right? That was when you acquire the sub, right? But when you have associate, you only put one line only. And you record under non-current asset, naming as investment in associate. Now, talking about preparing software, we go to the page 513. 513. 14.7. So when I say single line, are you ready? Do you have page 513? Please go. Okay. Shahira, can you please read 14.7, the first line?
The statement of financial position of the associate or joint venture is not consolidated but equity accounted.
Equity accounted.
Equity accounted.
So in other words, equity accounted for equity method, they call equity accounted under associate or JV. They put a single line. Can you go to the E, Shahira?
A, the investment account will be shown as a single item at its carrying amount.
Okay, thank you. So it means that you're going to show single line or single item. So you are not console, you're not full console. You do not full console. Okay, you only put one line talking about associate or JV. So if you have investment associate, if the relationship you and that company associate, you call investment associate. If you have a relationship with that company is JV, then you call investment in JV. Okay, not associate. So I slash. So you change the word according to the situations, what kind of relationship that you have. So now everyone go to the B. Mecca, can you please read B?
Assets and liabilities of the investee are not included.
Okay, so when you do console Sophie, okay, you are not plus asset and liability. Include or excluded? It was excluded. Excluded. You totally ignore about asset and liability of associates and JV. Okay? You not plus asset and liability for associate or JV. Okay? That was for console Sophie about associate and JV. Now, what about C? Can Siti Hasina please read? C?
Intercompany debts are not cancelled but shown separate.
Okay. Finish your words. is not intercompany transaction, but what kind of intercompany? Debt.
Intercompany debt are not
Debts. Debts only. Debts, only intercompany debts are not cancelled. Are not cancelled, but show separately. Okay, but show separately. So what about the rest? The rest you have to eliminate as usual. Okay, the rest are eliminated as usual, but only intercompany debts you are not cancelled, but you have to show separately. Okay, that was about console Sophie. Now, what about console SOPL? Please go to the page 14.8. Everyone, 14.8, not 14.8. Page 515, but title numbers 14.8. Next pages, 515. Haris Aizat, please read first paragraph.
The statements of profit or loss of the associates and joint ventures are not consolidated but are equity accounted,
Yes, equity accounted. Proceed.
where the group comprises the parent, subsidiaries, associates, and joint ventures. Only the statements of the parent and subsidiaries are consolidated.
Continue.
The parent share of profit after tax of the associates and joint ventures are disclosed as a single line item to the consolidated profit before tax of the parent and subsidiaries.
Okay. So now when you do SOPL, you're going to show a single line item. Okay. And you are not console item or associate and JV under SOPL, which is you do not take associate JV income and also expenses. You totally ignore. So if we ignore means, if we ignore that income expenses, so how do we want to show our transaction associate in our book? So you're going to disclose as what? You're going to disclose in our SOPL as sharing of, share of profits of associates or JV. So you're going to put this account in the financial statement. Okay, so now things that you have to highlight in the page 515. If we go to first sentence, he said that not console, equity accountant. Okay, and next sentence, only statement of parent and subsidiary are consolidated. So it means that, as I mentioned here, only subsidiary will be included for income and expenses. So in associate, I said one again, no need to include it. Okay, now can we go to the page 516? What you are supposed to have to put inside. Aizat Ashraf, can you please read? Aizat Ashraf, A.
Accounting procedures. A.
Yep.
Group turnover will comprise turnover of the parent and subsidiaries, but not that of the associates.
What is a turnover, everyone? Turnover, what does it mean? Turnover.
Yes.
Sales. So sales do not include for associates. Not included. Except parents and subsidiary. So if associate having a sale, please do not plus. So I would like to summarize that. you do not include their income and expenses of not included income and expenses of associates or JV. So since you do not include income and expenses, you're going to put as share of profit. B, he explained again, group profit before tax only includes parent and subsidiary. And then C, group share of associate current year profit after tax is shown separately. So show as what? You show as this one in our console. Okay, and then he explained again to make sure that the student understand. Tax only consists of combination parent and subsidiary. Tax is the expenses. So expenses is one of the condition under associate is expenses must be excluded. So tax in our console only include parent and subsidiary. Now, in order to make sure that everyone understand what does it mean by single line item under SOPL, and I record as share of profit now. Can we go to the example 4 in the example 4, everyone? Just a quick reading. You have 3 columns, right? And then H is the parent, S is the subsidiary, A is the associates. Now, can we go to the answer in the page 517? Answer in the page 517. Now, just look at the revenue. Revenue is a turnover. 1.2 is for who? Is for holding, right? 1.2 million. Plus with who? 800. 800 is who? Subsidiary. That's all. You do not plus associate 400 for sale. That is what I mean, not included. So my question to you, so if everything was excluded about associate and JV, so how we would like to disclose about associate in our book? Okay, to present about associate in our book. So you go further down, do you saw or not this way? Share of profit of, there is one item, single line item. This is means by single line. Single line item about associate. Okay, take a minute of your time. Understand how do we calculate. He take 80,000. 80,000 is what? 80,000. What does it mean by share profit? He take PAT associate time with the percentage, time with the interest. And then minus any impairment. So 80,000 is the associate PAT, not PBT. Please don't take PBT. It must be PAT. 80,000. How much is the interest having by holding in this associate is about 25%. Then if you have any impairment, then you continue minus from the impairment. That's all. So if you got this figure amount about 17,500. So you disclose as what? You disclose as share of profit. Because this company is a significant influence, then you have to set share of profit of associate. So if that company is unanimous consent, you have to change to be share of profit of joint venture. That's all. That's all. Okay, that's all. Now, this is about financial statement. Now, I would like to ask about NCI. Do we have non-controlling interest for subsidiary or not? Non-controlling interest, if you're having a subsidiary, do we have NCI or not? Non-controlling interest. Yes, right? Yes, if you are not control 100%, eh? If not control, if parents did not control 100%. Okay. What about associate? Are we having NCI or not? What does it mean by non-controlling interest? Minority shareholder. So percentage must be more than 50 for subsidiary. Then you have control. So if you go 80, 20% is the NCI. What about associate? If you have 25%, like this example, is it 75 is the, I give you something for you to think, eh? Let's say parents having interest in associate. Minimum percentage is between 20 to 50, correct? Okay. So let's say I take 25%. I want everyone to think, eh? So holding an NCI in the associate. So 25%, correct? So can I set 75%?
No.
Non-controlling interest?
No.
No. What is the reason no?
Minority.
The word non-controlling interest is minority. Minority big or small?
Small.
Small. 75 is big, right? So in other words, when you have associate, you don't have non-controlling interest. So the answer for associate is no NCI. So what have no NCI? I won't bother for the rest of 75%. Other company will do it. My concern is on the equity interest 35%. So be careful. If you are prepared associates, no NCI. Similar to the JV, eh? So similar to JV, you don't have any NCI because no control. Why you don't have an NCI? Because no control. JV too. Now, so if you have NCI for a subsidiary, what about option number? Do we have option number? We have option 1 and 2, right? This is option for NCI, right? So what about associate? Do we have option? No option. This one is a technical side. It's not in the textbook. This is what I want. This is my notes about this one. You can't find this one in the textbook. Textbook do not say that no option. Textbook did not say that NCI. This is a technical side because it will affect it when we want to do working letter. Therefore, what about working numbers for console FP? How many working number for console Sophie? Subsidiary? Working 1 until working 4.
4.
So you have 4 working.
4.
Associates and JV, you have 4 plus 1. It's a difference, eh? Total is 5 working. So what is the 1? Why is a 1? This is only for console Sophie. Why is a 1? So 1 means that this one is for investment in associate or JV. For you to calculate working for investment in associate or JV. Other 4 is remain as usual. So if we list down the number of working, so investment in associate is at what numbers? So working 1, where is it? If we prepare console, COI, right? Working 2,
OA.
goodwill at DOA. Number 3,
Schedule of reserve.
yes, schedule of reserve. Thank you. Schedule of reserve. This one technical side. You cannot find this one in the text. Working for investment in associate or JV. So working 5 is the last, is a statement. Console, SOFE. So total is 4. So what I said 4 plus 1. Working 1 until 3 is remain as usual. And then console Sophie will be working 5. Because of console Sophie is a financial statement, we have to make it as last. So before, if you are having a holding and subsidiary, console Sophie become number 4. But when we have associate, console Sophie become the last. So before number 5, we have new working number, which is investment in associate. So this working number is only for console Sophie. SOPL, we don't have investment in associate. No, because investment is non-current asset. Understand, Don't find IIA in the SOPL. So I hope that everyone understand. IIA is only on Sophie, not SOPL. Okay. So if you memorize, of course, you will find IIA in the SOPL because you do not know what is the IIA. IIA is investment. It's only for non-current assets. So when you're going to calculate, only when you want to prepare Sophie. It's not applicable and no need to show if you prepare SOPL. Okay. So I'm going to take a break about 10 minutes. So please come back at 9. What time is now?
9.
9. Okay, please come back at 9 or 9:10.
Okay, miss.
Okay.